Hello, it is Saturday, May 21st at 9:57 a.m. Eastern Time in the year 2022. I'm Mitch Miller. This is my video journal. Today I'm going to be talking a film pitch for Lucy Liu, John Fetterman, and any screenwriter that wants to pair up with me for this pitch. You get a bonus video today because my wife's flight was canceled last night and she's not getting in until this afternoon. So I decided to do my pitch. I was saving it for this week, later this week. So in the last video I talked about ownership of women, how men own women in a lot of cultures, how I used to have that mentality and that mindset because I came from a working class background and family, and Dad watched a lot of cowboy movies, so the media and stuff like that, how they portray women, how they used to, and to some extent still do, especially globally. So ownership of women. So I came up with this idea for a screenplay for a film, and I was saving it until I actually met Lucy Liu, but who knows if that'll actually ever happen, and I'm not getting any younger. Of course, like most of my projects, I would star in the film, but this could obviously, if I run for president, be cast someone else. I just think it's fitting because my great-grandfather worked for a steel company, my grandfather retired from a steel company, my dad worked for a steel company, so I would be the fourth-generation steel worker, and the film revolves around a steel plant. But here's the thing. The UN, or some governing body, decrees that if we ever develop nuclear fusion technology, it would have to be in partnership with at least 3 G8 countries, or 3 G8 countries come together and decide that's the most ethical way to develop fusion technology. So China, India, and the United States decide to build the first ever nuclear fusion steel plant in the United States as a joint venture. And this is kind of like a buddy movie, like a team movie. They decide to build the plant in Braddock, Pennsylvania, where John Fetterman was mayor, and where he still lives. There's a steel plant in that town, and it's just right next. It's 2-3 miles from Pittsburgh, 5 miles from Pittsburgh. Now, I don't know why they decided to do it there. Maybe because of the innovation happening, maybe because of CMU, but they decided to build a steel plant in Braddock, Pennsylvania, and invest heavily in that neighborhood in building it up. So they they take the best steel workers from China and India, form them into a team out of China and India, and the best steel workers, and then the steel workers that work at the steel plant in Braddock. And I'm a steel worker that works. I'm like a mid-level supervisor at the steel plant, or my character is. They bring over the Chinese team and the Indian team, and it's about learning how to run this nuclear fusion steel plant. So there's some comedic aspects, but it's mostly about team building, buddy bonding, and it's about this nuclear plant and building up a community. And my wife in the film is Lucy Liu. We have an interracial marriage between obviously me, a Caucasian, and an Asian woman. So it focuses on interpersonal relationships too. So obviously I'm friends with, or I become friends with the Indian mid-level supervisors, the Chinese mid-level supervisors, and we go out to bars and you see shots of Braddock and my kind of shitty house, living with my wife Lucy, and there's back and forth between us. It's a little bit of romantic type of things. I have some ideas for that in the writing, but really it's just a vehicle to cover two kind of topics that need to be out there for women to I believe it'll help help females in their home life, in their personal life. And it's two concepts. So basically I pull this Chinese and this Indian guy aside. We're alone, just the three of us or whatever, and we start talking about me and Lucy Lou's relationship, and I explain how I used to think that you could control a woman's orgasm, and that's wrong, and that you should not try to own women, or it's better worded in the writing, but you don't try to own them or control their orgasm. The logic behind men doing that is that if they don't, for example, allow women to masturbate, if they forbid them from that they will be more likely to engage in sex with their partner because they're hornier, so it explains that you shouldn't try to control a woman's orgasm and own women. So it's kind of like a play like that. And then the second thing I put out there in basically the same type of scenario, same conversation, is that if women don't always orgasm during sexual intercourse with a man, that's why they need to be able to masturbate when they want to, have privacy, have a vibrator, things like that. The second thing is, in order to ensure that my wife does orgasm every time we have sex, we engage in mutual masturbation, and she masturbates and orgasms before we actually engage in the intercourse, and then I orgasm after that, so that we both orgasm during one sexual encounter, so that she's more satisfied, because men don't know what they're doing down there, and we can try for hours and still not be successful. So it's just more mutual way of engaging in marital sex, and it's those two concepts. So the film revolves around this new technology, this kind of comedic, romantic comedy type of thing, but it's not slapstick comedy really. It's about international cooperation on a project and building up a community, investing in a community. But it's really just a vehicle to get these two concepts out there, which I believe if working class men in China and India kind of start to accept this concept, it'll do a lot of good for women in those countries and other developing nations and countries. So that's my pitch. That's kind of the concept. I don't have a lot of other stuff to add to it, but I'm sure if I got it with a talented writer, we could write a whole feature-length film. That's my Hollywood film idea, kind of like a sports team film, like a sports team film, but with steel workers and working class ideology, working class values, and incorporating these concepts for women's equality into that culture, so that it's more acceptable worldwide. And with most of my films, I usually have something that I would give the profits to. I forget what that is right now, but the profit from the film, my cut of the film, some of the profit would go to a top secret program I can talk to Lucy Liu about if she ever wants to meet with me. So that's my pitch for Lucy Liu and John Fetterman. Since I mentioned Fetterman and a conspiracy theory, I thought I'd try to explain, because I've written to John Fetterman at his meeting in Kane, Pennsylvania, when he did a meeting for legalization of marijuana. I wrote out on a comment card one of my ideas, and I tried to meet with him in person, and I don't know if he knows who I am, but I've tried to contact him about some of my ideas. So this is probably the closest I've come to actually pitching something to him. I wouldn't mind working on his campaign. I have a lot of innovative ideas that I'm sure we could adapt to his campaign that aren't too radical, that can be folded in and show what that can do. So I'm available and able to be hired, or we can try to pursue this project for Braddock and shoot a film about it. So that's my pitch. Thanks for watching. Join me later this week, probably Monday or Wednesday, for some other thing I'll come up with, or maybe I'll just keep doing pitches that are up in my head that I've been saving to put out there if I ever met with a Hollywood director or an actress or something like that. So that's my pitch. Hopefully we can make it someday. Thanks for watching.